Welcome back to the second part of Module 3 from the Child Health and Development Project Mississippi Thrives video series on supporting the development of your child's brain architecture. We continue on the subject, Oh Behave, helping families create a behavioral support toolbox, presented by Liz Gill of Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
In this section, we'll focus on how we can encourage behaviors we want to see from our young children. We can create a toolbox of skills to manage our behavior. So let's start putting things in our toolbox. We have our handouts, and we've talked about how we're going to help handle stressful situations. We're also going to establish a daily schedule and routine. If you don't already have a pretty reliable schedule and routine, I think it's most important to establish and stick to a routine at bedtime. Experts recommend that young children stick to the same bedtime routine and the same time of the day, every night, even weekends. One way you can do this? If you would like your child to brush their teeth, take a bath, get into their pajamas, and pick out a book for you to read to them as part of their bedtime routine, you can take a photo of your child doing each of these things, and you can hang those photos at eye level so your child can see them. That will help them remember, what do I do at bedtime? What do I do first? What do I do next? You can also set a timer to go off at bedtime to help reinforce that that's the time they need to get ready for bed. It's not something that you're just randomly choosing. It's the bedtime. Now, let's talk about the house rules and consequences. You can also take pictures of the rules you have, like having a child put a toy on a shelf or in the toy box when they're finished playing. You can take a picture of them doing that and then hang it up near the toys to be a visual reminder and hopefully reduce the number of times you have to tell them to do that. That will also help your child develop more independence and confidence because they can remember more things on their own and do them by themselves. Physical activity is really important too. Children should have at least 1 hour of physical activity per day as part of their daily routine. Exercise boosts the brain chemicals that help them develop impulse control, memory, and concentration. So if you don't have a nice outdoor space, like in this photo, you can do several things indoors to get that physical activity, like dancing to a favorite song, playing games like hide and seek, red light, green light, or Simon Says, or you can take them outside and just let them run around. It doesn't have to be a really structured game. They can also just take a walk with you. While we can expect it to be difficult for young children to handle their emotions, planning for these difficulties and consistently reminding them of expectations help them to develop important skills that we call executive functions. What executive function means is that they can handle intense emotions, they have a good working memory, they can do a couple of things at a time, and they can learn to be mentally flexible. That means they can learn to better handle things if something changes. Those all can be really difficult for young children, and honestly, even most adults. So we have to remember to practice our healthy coping skills in front of our children, as well as teach them those skills that they can use. If we have a child who is hitting, for example, it's helpful to validate the little one's anger and frustrated feelings before redirecting them. We can say something like, "It's stressful when someone takes our toys. I know that, but we can't hit." Then we can teach them different ways to handle that frustrating situation. You can practice this when the children are calm. It's important that you don't work on changing those behaviors only in the heat of the moment when they're already upset. Go back to those handouts on coping and relaxation skills and co-regulation techniques and practice those with children. One way to practice deep breathing with children, for example, is to blow bubbles, which is also fun. Practicing these techniques before your child gets frustrated when someone takes their toy will help them know they have a safe plan when they get upset, and they can remember that technique. We also have to teach our children language to express their difficult emotions. So if they don't hear language like, "I'm angry," they won't have it to use. That's typically when we hear more crying or screaming. One way to do this is look through magazines and spot different emotions on people's faces and give your child the words for those emotions. You can even tear the pictures out and, again, hang them at eye level and look at them with your child from time to time and ask questions like, "How is this person feeling? how is this child feeling? We also have to teach them about flexibility and being able to change their thinking just a little bit. All of these skills that we're teaching them are going to help because they're going to have the words to express their feelings, and they're going to have the strategies to calm down. And that's really going to help with flexibility. So before using rewards or consequences, try teaching these skills and try to teach them regularly and consistently. We know this is a lot of information, so let's take a short break. When you're ready, check out Part 3 of Module 3 on YouTube, where we will continue this discussion.